Any other state AG or a county prosecutor, any official recusing themselves from this investigation?
I'm not. You should look into that, but I'm not. I mean, Ohio took the lead early on. Richard Cordray took this case very seriously. And I think that others in the country are having him take it, and he did that in a lot of ways, to be honest, on a lot of cases. But no, but again, I would say, Ken Cuccinelli isn't famous for his good ethics. He's about to probably lose his race because he wasn't careful about these kind of things. And I think he actually took steps on this case that he shouldn't have, and he should have recused himself. But I believe, I think you would all say, as members of the press, common sense says, if you got money from someone, if you never gave it back, and all these other circumstances that go even far beyond that, that it really does make anyone question, can you bring it fairly? And then after 2 years of whitewashing it in every media statement, and in the actual prosecution of the case, I think it really confirms that this should be in another office's hands. And there are going to be a lot of AGs who have similar concerns about what happened to their veterans and people in their states who gave money, who, whether they're Republican or Democrat, haven't received any money from Bobby Thompson, don't have all these connections, certainly didn't have this Montgomery connection. They could certainly take this on as well.
And what would be the statute of limitations on any charges that might be brought as a result?
I don't know the answer to that, but obviously that would be something to look into. I don't know the answer.
Would there be any way that the state could go after these contributions to get them back for veterans at this point, or would it just be voluntary?
The first thing I'd like to know is to make sure we know every single person. My hope is that most politicians, DeWine hasn't done this, which is surprising. Most politicians who figure out that they received that illegal contribution should themselves voluntarily give it back to some veterans group to just say, I know that's what it was for, I shouldn't have had this money. I don't know if the AG would need to go further than that, but that just should happen. But that's only going to happen if we actually pursue all the angles of this case and find out every politician who received this money. The fact that we know that this is potentially the tip of the iceberg. The fact that we know that illegal contributions were sent from other names, cash in envelopes. Again, who knows how far that went? And so much, here's the bottom line. The reason for recusal is so all these questions can be asked. I can't tell you all that Bobby Thompson was doing, how far it went, if most of it went to him buying Porsches or most of it went to politicians. Someone's got to ask these questions. And it's clear that Mike DeWine hasn't asked them. And I'm sorry to say, I think part of the reason is because there's this clear appearance and reality of conflict of interest that has kept him from asking these questions. For him to refer to this as a political sideshow or sidebar, that just doesn't square with the facts. There's too much politics wrapped up in this. This guy was giving too much money, illegal money, to politicians for this to be cast aside as a sidebar. It's clear that at the heart of this was a guy who was taking money meant for veterans and giving it to politicians. And to try and say that politics was just a sideshow of this, it's just not, does not square with the facts.
David.